It's the NUKA-COLA Lounge, presented by the Triple S League.
NUKA-COLA was a popular drink in the pre-war era, and still is today.
When I was sitting there, I'm like, look, Gabe, Half-Life 3 has got to come out. You can't keep sitting on it. And he's all like, but I don't know where to go. I wrote myself into a box, and I don't know what to do.
Dude, we're live.
We're recording now? Oh, hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NUKA-COLA Lounge podcast. Instead of Nuka-Cola today, well, I'm having some green tea because I feel like I swallowed a rad roach.
I was bitten by a rad roach and then a death claw. So, yeah, that winter bug still around.
I was bitten by a rad roach and then a death claw. That was like, this dude came right up and shot me with a BB gun. So, what? Well, because then he shot me with a cannon. Oh, well, okay. Why didn't you start with that? So Gabe of Steam and Valve did an AMA about Half-Life 3. I wasn't aware of this.
He didn't do it. It wasn't about Half-Life 3. I mean, that's what a lot of people asked him. They were actually going to ban the word Half-Life, so you couldn't even put it in the thing or ask them. It wouldn't even show up, or you get kicked from the Reddit or banned from the Reddit. They were going to do something stupid. That prevented people asking questions about one of the most anticipated and highly sought-after expansions or continuations, I guess, of video games ever. And so anyways, he talked about a bunch of stuff. The highlight from it was basically that he just didn't want to talk about Half-Life 3. And it's always funny when developers do this. It's like, look, you know that this is what people want. This is what the vast majority of your fans want. And the fact that you don't talk about it, it's not that you don't talk about hey, look, we can't talk about it because of business and, we're under some NDAs, so we can't talk about it at all. We'd love to, but, we can't. So, ask something else, please. It's not that. It's just it's an elephant in the room. And they just aren't even referring to it. It's just what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand what this question is.
What is this 3 you speak of?
Yeah, it's just
is that food?
The whole concept is just foreign to them, and that's the way it's been for since Half-Life 2 basically went out the door. I don't have a lot of inside info on this. I really don't, and. It's kind of crappy because it was a big part of gaming in the early years. It was a big part of that. I remember the first time I saw individual eye movement and stuff from people's faces was in that. In fact, it was the Breaking Benjamin "It's Cold" song that they did to I can't even remember his name. The guy in the suit man. He sings the song, and it was always something that I was like, wow, this is showing where computers and technology is going, and I always found that really cool. But it was really kind of sad that they never went, they never continued the story.
Well, what are the chances now that it's been so anticipated for so long, and I say anticipated, it's something the fans want, but have they hyped it up so much in their heads that it's inevitably going to be a disappointment at this point, no matter what?
Well, the story will be a disappointment for sure. Somebody's going to be really disappointed with the story.
Somebody will, but I'm talking about the fan base as a whole.
The fan base is just disappointed that they aren't getting any more, and that they aren't getting any more for reasons that don't make sense. It's not that, hey guys, we're not making this because we have a licensing problem. It's hey guys, we're not making this because we don't know where to go with it. And this I can tell you, and this has been confirmed several times, is that they had a number of studios do up some ideas and pitch them stuff. And by do up ideas, we're talking pre-alphas. I heard that they even went in a direction of having an RTS at one point. I even heard rumors of them thinking possibly about a trading card game version of this, taking Half-Life 3 in some random direction. But this is to be expected from a big company who starts to outsource a lot of their projects that they don't have the ability to micromanage. that they'll just ship it off to another studio who's really good at what they do. So they've had a number of studios come in, pitch them ideas, but it just never went anywhere. And now, unfortunately, the whole series is just kind of like dead in the water. And that kind of includes Portal 2, because they were so intent on connecting the Portal universe to the Half-Life universe, and one of the big reasons for the delay on Half-Life 3 was like, hey, look, we're gonna incorporate Portal 3 into this world, and we're gonna, you're gonna be able to play both of these heroes from both of these games, and it's gonna be really awesome, and there's all this stuff. But now they just can't really. They're kind of stuck, and they kind of put themselves into a position where they felt like they had to do so much to show that they were the best at this, and it became a bit of a Goliath in their eyes, and then suddenly they just couldn't find the traction no matter what they were doing. They just couldn't get it out anywhere. It just kept failing for them over and over and over and over again. So that's what I think happened with the general concept, but you never know, because they're so tight-lipped on it that you don't actually have an idea of what's going on, and it's really kind of sad. So, but anyways, that was the biggest news of the week, other than the fact that apparently there's a bunch of Battleborn porn that's trying to compete with Overwatch porn, and my first reaction to this was, you mean people are still playing Battleborn? Like, people actually know the characters from Battleborn? This is ridiculous. Yeah,
that's what's messed up about that.
Yeah,
you're right. You're bang on. You hit it right on the head there.
Yeah.
Now, when you say news, did you double check which URL you were punching in? Which
yeah, it was news. Same with Resident Evil game data being leaked too. That's all over everywhere now too, and it's getting pulled from a lot of places. But it's out in a high number and a high quantity now from like the number of sources that are creating it, because they had a bunch of this stuff leak. So that's completely ruined. So if you are afraid of getting spoilers for Resident Evil, don't look online anywhere, and don't use Twitter. Like, just turn Twitter off for probably the next 2 months. So
sorry, I'm just trying to picture the ramifications of a world where a bunch of millennials turn off Twitter for 2 months.
I'm pretty sure that we would make significant gains towards world peace.
How will I know what to be enraged about this week?
I know, right?
But by the end of it, we would probably have a colony on Mars, so there's that.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I keep thinking South Park. I can't wait for... This is good game news. I can't wait for South Park, the Fractured Butthole. Can't wait for that to come out. In other great news, and this took me by surprise, and we'll see when the Oscars come around, to see that maybe we might see a Deadpool Oscar nomination for Best Film. I don't even think that a comedy has had a serious chance of winning the Oscars in a very long time. What's weird with the Oscars is every time it comes around, like, half of the movies I've never even heard of, like, ever before. I'm like, I haven't seen this playing. I mean, I'm not a hermit. I go to the theaters at least like once a month. I don't see a lot of these movies that are nominated for these big, huge awards. And I know that they hang around in the film festival areas for a long time. But
me at a theater is generally, oh, this movie sounds good. Oh yeah, that one was nominated for an Oscar. Oh, I guess I'll just see Doctor Strange again.
But no, as far as like comedies and humor movies go, I don't see too many of them winning Oscars. So that would be like the main, the best picture and whatever. So that would be really awesome if that happened, because honestly, just for as far as humor, and also is like kind of like the comic book movies is I think a little bit more respect in that direction would be really, really good. Like, there's a lot of really good acting in those movies, and I think like I think that the general award groups, they kind of look at them and they're like, oh, that's a flash in the pan. Nobody's gonna remember that. Everybody's gonna be watching these artsy films in 100 years from now. And
oh yeah,
going,
it's like yeah, okay. So maybe. When's the last time you popped in that DVD of Crash?
Yeah, that's a great example. Anyways, Anyways, apparently new Green Lantern movie coming out. I could almost not get through that without throwing up.
Is that okay? Is this a continuation of the Ryan Reynolds one, or is this a
no? This is
yet another reboot.
This is a reboot. I don't think Ryan Reynolds would do that again for all the money in the world. I'm pretty sure he's just gonna say no. But yeah, new one coming out. Didn't see that coming, but I guess sure.
Well, I mean, whenever a movie bombs as bad as that Green Lantern movie, there's an opportunity to reinvent that in a new direction that people are going to welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
But then there comes a point where it's like, we've got now how many different movies about the same characters, and I mean, Spider-Man's got like 13 different series of himself, and then he's being rebooted again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I have to say though, I really enjoy the direction they took Spider-Man in Civil War.
Yeah,
fantastic. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it being in there in kind of in a proper place. I was a big fan of the really good cartoon, not the early 90s, whatever was the cartoon that was done in like early 90s or 80s. I can't remember which. But the later ones where he did all the crossovers with the X-Men and all that kind of stuff. That was like, that kind of set in my mind like Peter Parker. He's kind of like a college guy. He's not always this perpetual high schooler. So I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on him kind of being stuck in this permanent teenager role.
They picked him young though, the actor. I mean, or he looks really young anyway. I mean, obviously he is, yeah. I mean, if he's making Marvel movies for the next few years, he's not going to stay that young, right? So, it would make sense for them to have him move on to college, etc. Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this new Green Lantern thing. I kind of think it's going to be another dud, like the Fantastic Four was. There's some stories from comic books that just don't transition well into movies. So, not like alien / human coitus in video games.
Oh Lord,
that transitions really well. And speaking of that, Mass Effect has announced. Not announced, they were asked on, I think Twitter it was, they were asked about, hey, can I bang some really good, can I bang aliens? And one of the devs came back and said, yes, you can bang aliens, and they are really, really good, and it's going to be really, really awesome. And I was just sitting there going, wow, there's something to look forward to. Wonder if we can have that Krogan romance there. As far as like interspecies alien coitus, it's Mass Effect's done it pretty good, pretty well, pretty artsy, I'd say. So it's
sorry, hang on. Did you just say artsy?
Yeah, it's very artsy. Like the one in the first one was really artsy. Strangely enough, on my official playthrough on number 2, I didn't have any coitus at all. I didn't bang any aliens. I didn't even take that nice red-haired girl into the captain's quarters for that lunch or dinner that they could have and talk about stuff and people without getting into the sheets. I didn't even do that because I was like, where's Liara? I don't know where Liara is. I feel that I'd be kind of cheating on her, and I don't want to do that. And so yeah, number 2 was really dry for me. And then number 3, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a little mini Asari Shepherd running around in the near future. So yeah, there's that.
This conversation is breaking my brain.
You just finished Mass Effect, right? The first one.
I just finished Mass Effect.
And did you not?
I did. I don't even think I did it on purpose, but I did wind up watching that scene with Liara.
Oh yeah, see that can happen by accident.
And it reminded me of a couple of horses operating some human puppets. I mean, the Uncanny Valley was real. The Uncanny Valley was so real at that moment. It was so far from natural or real or anything that I wanted to watch.
So
the best way a video game does romance is subtle. That's my opinion. When you have those really personal interactions, even in Fallout 4, where you have those personal conversations with the companions. They just feel so awkward to me, because they feel so contrived. And also in Mass Effect, the romance scene between Shepard and Liara, it's like, this might be our last chance to express how we feel about each other. I know we've only had 3 conversations, but, this, obviously we're meant to join in infinite fusion and alien bliss and stuff. I don't know. For me, it's just, you know what? You want to do the romance, do it subtly. The romantic subplot that I've appreciated the most in a game was in Wolfenstein: The New Order, where Blazkowicz winds up hospitalized for a number of years, and you wind up having to rescue the nurse that's taking care of you the whole time from a bunch of Nazis, and then you do some missions, and there's this romance thing that happens along the sideline, but it's not actually part of the like, you don't have to go about romancing this character. I felt that was the best, because...
But that's, like, incredibly shallow.
No, it was not shallow at all.
It's completely shallow, though.
It's more like a movie... It's more like you're watching it in a movie, because you're a passive observer of that aspect of the game. Bringing that romance component into the actual gameplay wouldn't have added anything. And I think because they were able to just script it to unfold the way it unfolded, I think it was a lot more natural than, say, like the Fallout.
But if you want to have a Krogan, with their, the giant, like, frog-looking lizardy guys, I'm just saying, it's kind of hard to script that when it's kind of, it's kind of a choice thing, right? Like, some people, they want the Krogan, other people want the Asari, other people want the floating jellyfish thing.
Oh, those guys, what are they called?
This one thinks that you are a nice person. This one says, let us go steady.
Or the Elcor, can you imagine? Ecstatic bliss. Yes, more.
Oh, dear.
This one is pleased.
That's what interplanetary exploration is all about, right? Like, that's getting us back to the good old, like, early Star Trek days. Like, hey, everything looks like a human. Let's try and bone everything along the way. So in other news, something that's kind of back in the news, it's back in the news again, is Blizzard kind of fighting with their player base, like, kind of sometimes passively, sometimes very aggressively. They're doing a huge nerf to D.Va on the PTR, and people are not happy about it at all. They're raising a shitstorm. I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know what they're intending on doing with this, but it seems kind of...
So what, they feel that D.Va is overpowered?
Yeah, she's overpowered, so they're gonna kind of break her down a little bit. I mean, you can say what you want about that, but the other thing that they've done is, I guess, they pressured the Nostralis community to kind of fight back against the whole private servers thing again. This was in the news about I guess almost about a year ago or a little less, and Blizzard was not being nice to certain people wanting to experience the vanilla WoW, and they shut down a server, and now they are trying to shut this new one that just opened up that has over, it's like 35,000 players logging in to play like a 10+ year old game. And apparently they're really active, and there's like queue times to get in for hours and hours and hours. But it just kind of goes to show again that Blizzard, I don't know if you really know your audience, guys. Just throwing that out there.
Don't see an opportunity when one presents itself.
Yeah, like a glowing opportunity
with a gigantic neon billboard.
It just goes back to the whole D.Va thing, is that sometimes game devs don't really know what their audience wants until their audience gets like super vocal about it. And so that's where I think we're kind of seeing this. It always seems to come back to Blizzard. It hits Blizzard probably the hardest, I think. You get the whole, Overwatch, many different things about Overwatch. So yeah, I think it's just kind of hilarious, and they never seem to really get anywhere with it. But anyways, that's old news. I don't want to rehash that one too much. It's been pretty quiet this week. I mean, other than, the Nintendo Switch coming out, which we'd love to cover the Nintendo content, but unfortunately we can't. So there wasn't much news there. Anything else?
No, I got nothing.
Your Name has just become the top grossing anime movie of all time.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They stole my name?
No, Your Name.
They made, I didn't get a kickback from that.
No, not Your Name, Your Name.
Hang on a second here. Ashenity.
No, not that name.
Movie.
No, not that name. Your Name movie. The movie Your Name.
You're gonna make a movie about a guy. You should at least...
You're gonna get us fired.
Yeah. In fact, I think we were fired about a year ago. So, that's about it for this week. Hopefully, we really hope that we're healthy for next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Triple S League podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you appreciate our content. We'll talk to you next week.